in our News9 studios. We are discussing a compilation, a comprehensive compilation of all the opinion polls that we have seen in the last few months. We have covered all the 4 South Indian states, but now we will go to the national capital. My colleague Akshita takes us through the numbers.
Right, we've seen the numbers, what it'll look like in the South Zone. Moving up ahead, moving into the Central East. First up is the Union Territory of Delhi. 7 seats. It will be a close battle. There is no doubt. One party that could make a difference, that could cause a huge upset for BJP and Congress is, of course, the Aam Aadmi Party. Arvind Kejriwal and co could prove a major upset. Going into 2009, of course, we all know that the Aam Aadmi Party wasn't existent. It was the BJP versus the Congress, and it was a complete landslide victory for the Congress. The BJP was nowhere in the picture, but this time around it seems like they may just gain some sort of recovery, may push some sort of recovery, and on the other hand, we could be looking at BJP going ahead and losing their votes to the Aam Aadmi Party. If you look at those numbers right there, Nishita, not exactly what you'd expect from the Aam Aadmi Party, but at the end of the day, making a clear dent for the Congress there. ABP has posted 3 seats for AAP and the BJP, which means it could be the same thing that we saw in the assembly elections. NDTV going ahead and stating that it will be 1 seat for AAP and that the Congress will continue to maintain a majority, a small one at that, but a majority nonetheless. So those are the numbers for you there. But of course, we'll have to wait and watch to see what are the sentiments of the people of Delhi.
Well, that's right. In fact, it does not look like AAP's numbers are as fancy as it was predicted when they emerged victorious in the assembly elections in the assembly elections in the national capital. But we will come to that later. We will discuss it with our expert panel here. But before that, my colleague Nolan speaks to one of our colleagues who has extensively tracked the developments within the national capital, within Delhi. So let's take a look at that. Nolan, over to you.
Now, a newbie in Indian politics took Delhi by storm. No one thought they could actually do it. But the question is, they did it. Another question that people are asking is that, can they recreate that magic? Now, to discuss more about that, I'm joined by my colleague Harish. Harish, before the assembly elections that were held in Delhi, the opinion polls stated that the Aam Aadmi Party can get anywhere, say, about 8 to 11 seats. But they went on to get about 28. And Arvind Kejriwal became the chief minister. Now, the opinion polls this time around state that the Aam Aadmi Party will get 3, the BJP 3 and the Congress 1. Can we trust the opinion polls?
Well, Nolan, to begin with, if you look at the sample size of all these opinion polls, they are very, very limited sample size. It's a parliamentary constituency with anywhere around 17 to 18 lakh voters in some cases, and these opinion polls that we are looking at have a few hundred as sample size. So clearly you can't really depend on that. It might give you a slight hint of the mood in that particular constituency or in that particular state wherever this opinion poll is held. As far as the opinion poll last year for the assembly election was concerned, as you know, it was almost like a watershed election for Delhi. The last election, there were several incidents, several major events that took place in Delhi, right from the Delhi gang rape to the anti-corruption movement that happened in Delhi over a period of 1.5 years. So these things really changed the mood in Delhi, and some people could sense that there is a overwhelming wave kind of a thing, overwhelming wave against Congress and for a change, and that is where Aam Aadmi capitalized, and that's the reason you saw that most of these opinion polls got it horribly wrong as far as the Aam Aadmi vote share and their seats were concerned. But this time around, Nolan, things have changed. It's still not the same. Aam Aadmi Party, from being outside the government, got an opportunity to be in the government, have a 49-day government, and they did a few things in terms of policies, but they really could not sustain one government, and that will be the crucial factor for people now. I was in New Delhi last week, and there was this strange case where a few of these Aam Aadmi Party workers were coming for campaign, and people over there started telling, "Ye aa gaye Nautanki wale, Ramleela wale," saying that it's almost become a drama. They have lost trust in the Aam Aadmi Party, at least in New Delhi, because they have seen the party come to power and go out in 49 days. So now the biggest challenge for Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi and across the country will be to give an explanation to people on why they left the government at 49 days and convince the people that it was a sensible decision. They wanted to come back with a larger majority and take decisions on their own. So that will be the real big challenge for Aam Aadmi Party, Nolan.
Now, Harish, well, the opinion polls state that the Aam Aadmi Party will get 3, but prior to this opinion poll, it stated that the Aam Aadmi Party would get more. Now, can we safely say that during the assembly elections, it was voting against the Congress and for change, and now it's not voting against the Congress. Congress is not there, but people are actually voting against the AAP. That's the reason the BJP is getting those 2 extra seats.
Well, perhaps it's not too far behind that we saw the assembly elections happening. There is still anti-Congress wave, or people still won't prefer to go out and vote for the Congress, at least now. And both Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP would be trying to get a huge share of this anti-Congress vote. That's where this will be crucial. Remember, they're suggesting 3 seats for Aam Aadmi Party. That will still be a good performance for the Aam Aadmi Party, especially in Delhi, and 3 for the BJP. It will be a slight marginal raise from what they got last time around with 1 seat. But the biggest hint from this opinion poll means that if Aam Aadmi Party gets 3 and BJP gets 3, then you are looking at some huge major losers in Delhi in terms of high-profile candidates. You might see Kapil Sibal losing in Chandni Chowk. You might see Sandeep Dikshit losing, and a few other prominent Congress leaders losing in Delhi. That is likely to be the hint or the takeaway from this opinion poll, Nolan.
Right, Harish. Thank you very much for all that information on Delhi. Well, that's what's happening in Delhi over there. Back to you, Nishita.
Well, thank you, Nolan, for joining us with all those details, and thank you, Harish, for giving us all those updates. So, well, today in our News9 studios, we also have with us Mr. Ravi Hegde, who is an editor with the Vernacular newspaper. Thank you, Mr. Hegde, for joining us. Your first thoughts on Delhi? If we do go by the figures, it seems like Aam Aadmi Party does stand to gain. The numbers look like they have close to 3 to 4 seats that they will gain. But do you think that's a reality after the debacle that happened with their government? Do you think that will materialize?
No, it's Delhi is a very interesting constituency as far as the Aam Aadmi is concerned, and very important, significant for Indian politics too, because people had a lot of hopes on AAP. But after the debacle in Delhi, in their assembly elections and later 49 days the government, people, they seems to have lost the entire the energy, and the entire hopes on AAP has gone. And the strategic mistake that what AAP has done is they have spread their entire energy across India instead of concentrating on Delhi. They should have concentrated on Delhi. So that what they showed in their assembly elections, the people from across the country went there, campaigned, and they did a lot of the house-to-house contacts, and they did a lot of things there. That worked at that point of time. At this time, what has happened is they have moved across.
No, in the Second World War, Hitler opened too many fronts.
Yeah,
and it went against him. Is it the same mistake they're doing?
It's absolutely the same mistake. It's absolutely the same mistake.
No. Of course, no comparing Kejriwal to Hitler. I'm not making any such comparison.
Yeah.
I'm only speaking of strategies.
The sponsors of other people, please come and do here what you did in Delhi. So they keep doing, and that mischievous value.
No, what we should see is when they campaigned for assembly elections, the energy from across the India that went and campaigned. Now what has happened, the people have gone out of Delhi and campaigned. You see, Arvind Kejriwal himself is not available for Delhi. And people...
Okay, Mr. Vyas, if you look at Delhi, this is a state where Congress had 7 out of 7. Just the previous election. Today, if you look at it, we're looking at a whole new picture. It's like a paradigm shift in the voter's mind. What has really gone wrong here?
That is definitely it's a double incumbency, anti-incumbency against Sheila Dikshit government, who would completed 15 years of rule in Delhi, and then of course against the 10-year rule of UPA. So all the corruption charges, scams that UPA faced are reflected in the AAP's victory.
But the same Sheila helped 7 out of 7 last time.
That was last time.
There was a limit.
Even then they had the anti-incumbency of UPA 1.
But
they had anti-incumbency of her own 2 terms.
No, but this time around it was completely different, because this AAP, the center of the gravity was in Delhi when the AAP campaigned, and that civic society campaigned against the corruptions of government. The people were fed up with the government, and it was highlighted again. So it was exaggerated, and that caused a lot of catastrophic effects.
We also are joined in by another guest, Professor Prithvi Datta, who is joining us in our Mysore studios. Thank you for joining us on the show, Professor Prithvi. Now quickly, what really has gone wrong for the Congress in Delhi, for the UPA in Delhi?
That's a big laundry list. Where to begin? You know, even though it has been, Sheila Dikshit, as we've been discussing for the last 5-6 months, has been one of the most highly performing chief ministers in the history of independent India. All the corruption charges have taken, and the not just the allegations, but even the CWG scam or a host of other corruption charges have taken toll on her, and so that has caused Congress to lose its base in Delhi. And coupled with that, the rise of a new charismatic leader in Arvind Kejriwal, as well as the rise of AAP as a political force, has taken away its Congress's base basically. So the fight seems to be now between AAP, to whatever extent it has managed to retain its support, and BJP. So we don't know where Congress actually stands at this moment.